Good morning. So today is going to be a lot of messages. I have collected inspirational shit, phrases and stuff like that over the years, right? And I write it down, and I have a lot of them, okay? But it's my go-to like journal because I've collected them all and put them all in this one, okay? I'll show you. Like this, okay? It's not pretty, but it's my go-to. Like if I feel like I need something, if something's off and I can't pinpoint, right? And I'm not receiving downloads, right? There's a little bit of resistance energetically, but I can't, pinpoint what it is, right, to receive what I need. This is my go-to. Hold on, where was the page I was just on? This is my go-to, and I added to it yesterday because I have notes. I write shit down, put them in a folder, and then when I had time, I put it in this one, okay? So, I'm gonna read to you some of the inspirational shit or guidance. You'll see. I'm gonna read it to you. Use your guidance system, which is your emotions. If you feel something's off, that's an indicator trying to show you something. If you feel you'll see, stress, worry, that's a no usually, or it's you thinking about it, your perception of it. Use your guidance system. Emotions. A hell yes or a no with decisions. If you feel positive, energized, determined, inspired, peace, and fulfilled, that's usually a hell yes. Or if you're being drawn towards it for some reason, that's usually like your intuition. Or no. No feels usually an initial negative reaction, which you can see if it's just from fear and conditioning, you trying to keep yourself safe. But usually your nose will feel drained. You'll feel like your energy is just depleting. Angry, sad, gives you a feeling of lack. But like I said, some of these are just indicators of it not being in alignment with you, or you having a fear around it. And face your fears, because that's where your fear is like a limitation that you just keep in place. So once you break free of your fear, you're breaking free of that limitation, right? Hand in hand. So, nothing is ever an issue. It's only your perception. Judging reality is denying infinite possibilities. Disrupt your default reality. Make the most of what you do have, because you do have a lot of things at your disposal. Not really at your disposal, but a lot of things you can utilize. You do have. And I talked about it this morning, actually. You have energy, you have time, you have your focus, attention, and you can make decisions to change anything that you want to every single fucking day. You have the power to choose. You have the power to shift your attention. You have the power to focus on alignment. And this is what I was playing around with yesterday because it was just a phrase that popped into my mind. So I was like trying to pinpoint, and I wrote it down. Play by mortal rules for an ordinary life. Play by the God's rules for an extraordinary life. And I was like, meh, it makes sense, but, you know, it didn't hit the spot I was wanting it to. So I wrote like different variations of it. Act as mortals do to get by. Act as the divine to rise above. Like, and then that one still didn't hit the spot. Obey the mortal conventions to inhabit the world. Obey the divine in order to transcend it. That was closer. Obey men to live. Obey God to prevail. I mean, it makes sense, but it wasn't like the spot. Keep to mortal rules and live like many. Keep to the God's rules and lead the many. I didn't really hit the spot either. So I was playing around with it. I'll probably contemplate it today. Because people play by human conditioning and what they perceive to be real instead of shifting out of that mindset and playing and tweaking and playing chess like a game, like a fun game, instead of a competition where you have to control every single fucking move. Like, I talk about the chess game a lot because all I need to know is what pieces I'm moving today, right? I used to be very analytical and want to move all these pieces, right? And all of that, okay? All of that. I can do it. I can do it. I have done it. But I've just allowed myself to be guided and follow my intuition, follow my guidance system like I was talking about before. Because your emotions, the creator of everything, is very intelligent, and you see this reflected in the world, in the universe, in the cosmos, in our body. You get a cut, it's fucking healing on its own, right? The body can self-heal, and everything is very intelligent. If you study quantum physics and mechanics and the observer effect and consciousness, all of that, very intelligent. Very intelligent. Gave me a lot of love and respect for God. So, which God to me is the creator of all things, conscious, energy to put that. I don't even like saying that because that's not the whole picture. That's not the vastness and it doesn't give God justice. Jesus. It doesn't. But your emotions are indicators of living in alignment with what you want, what is, I don't want to say the correct path for you, but what is for you. Because you already predetermined before you came here, but that's a whole nother thing I'm not going to get into. So your emotions indicate where you're supposed to go. And intuition, emotions to me is different from intuition. Like sensing, when I say I feel it, it's more like sensing, not like an emotion feeling. Feeling emotions are different from sensing energy. It's different from automatically knowing information. So just to make that clear, feeling is different from knowing and sensing information, energy, because energy does carry information, like thought transmission. The signals that you can't see that you're sending out, thoughts that you're sending out, frequencies are all around. But anyways, I can tell because I have done the inner work, but it's mainly I've observed myself, my own conscious thoughts, and I've slowed down my mind to the point where I can remain aware without thought for a long time, and it's great. But once you start slowing down your thoughts, you can analyze them and see the deeper meaning behind them. My growth guide that is free, I don't ask for your email, it's absolutely fucking free, will help you with that too. It's amazing. It'll help you recognize those patterns and help you see why you're doing the shit that you're doing. Because it's the things that I've done and I still use from time to time to help me work through stuff if I need it, you know? So, I've been through a lot of fucking shit, I know a lot of fucking shit, and I created that. Like, I created that shit. I didn't just throw it into the AI system and have it spit answers back out at me, you know? That's shit that I've actually used. That's helpful. And it does correlate to like what I'm talking about. Once you see the energy behind things and the energy behind your thoughts, you can determine what thought is actually stemming from a fear, or if it's something, if it's a limitation that's keeping you safe, if it's conditioning, which majority of thoughts are based on conditioning. So use your guidance system. It's very intelligent. You can determine why you're feeling a certain way, or why you keep thinking the same fucking thought that's like on a loop, you know? You can analyze it if you, and you should, right? In the sense of, if you can't get it out of your fucking mind, go look at the growth guide, because that will help you tremendously, okay? But once you get to the point where you're aware of every thought that you have, every emotion that you have, you start seeing and realizing when you're sensing information as opposed to feeling an emotion, because it's different. Like, I know I say I feel, but it's more sensing. It's more like, it's either knowing or sensing. Knowing information that I'm not supposed to fucking know, and then I don't even know what to do with the information, but I know it, you know? I'm just put that on the back burner. I don't know what the fuck I received that for type shit. I've had those. But that's one of my psychic ability, claircognizant, and I'm clairvoyant. And I mean, you have many psychic abilities, so this is just how it. But feeling emotions is different from sensing information, receiving information, and intuition. Like when you're in danger and your spidey senses are tingling, that's you sensing the information that's already around, right? Because once it's in motion, you sense the energy in motion. Not like emotions, but the actual energy surrounding a situation. That's what you're sensing. And you can sense it before it even reaches you. And no, you've probably experienced sensing information before. Like if you've ever been in a dangerous situation where you sensed it before it happened, that's a moment where you know your life's in danger, right? Usually. So that becomes a priority because your life's in danger, right? That information is more important than all of the bullshit, the thoughts, and whatever the fuck is going on in your reality. Saving your life is more important than the bullshit that is just distracting your mind. So you sensing that information comes to the forefront, right? But when your life's not in danger, your mind is just distracted. You're sending the signals out. You're not slowing down and looking thought by thought, emotion. You're not feeling the difference, seeing the difference, sensing the difference between emotion and intuition. Emotions, like your body's physical reaction, chemical expression. That being very different from sensing information, receiving information. And you've already done it. You've already received information before. You just haven't realized you have. Because you haven't slowed that down. And maybe you have, but this is a different way of explaining it. Yes. I got sidetracked, but it all ties in, okay? It's tools to help you. Because like I said, all I need to do is know what pieces I'm moving on the fucking board, on the chessboard today. Like, I know I'm gonna move a few pieces today, but if I receive information that tells me not to fucking move a piece today, I'm not going to do that. If I receive information that this piece over here, I need to go look at that piece and make some moves over there, then I will. Then I will. Even if it doesn't make sense to me, if I feel the need, which is sensing, which is not based off of emotions or logic at all, but if I sense that I need to go over here, then I'm going over there. I'm not trying to logically figure out why I'm going over there. I will fucking go over there and sense and see what's going on over there, what I need to do when I'm there, you know. Sometimes I'll know automatically, wham bam, thank you ma'am, over there, chessboard, or chess piece, the pawn, whatever moved. Or a knight. Yes. Then I'll move in. But sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing until I'm like actually over there. I just sense that I need to be over there. Feel the need. I'm being drawn like over there. Okay? I'm trying. Well, I'm not trying, but I like to phrase things and use different words because reality is all about our perception and how we're perceiving things and how we're labeling things and how we're judging things. So it helps to have different words because different words have different people perceive and label. People even have different perceptions over words, okay? So that's why I take a moment to think, excuse me. I don't know what that was. But I take a moment to think about what words I'm using because people have different meanings to words, even though it's supposed to mean the same things. There's different definitions to a single word, and different perceptions to that single word. So that's why I try to mix things up and rephrase things so I can simplify it. Because usually when I'm in front of someone, I can determine what phrases and what level of consciousness that they're at in order for them to receive my message, right? I'm very good at determining that when I'm face to face with someone. That's why I get the fucking point across pretty easily whenever I'm talking to someone because I already know what level of consciousness and what words and what energy. I already know. I can determine this within the first minute minute or two, right? And it's not just because of conditioning, right? Because I see the energy behind it, and certain people have certain expressions with emotions and energy behind them. I'm gonna just leave it at that, okay? But to get your message across, you have to determine what they will understand, right? So if which I don't judge people as stupid, but I don't like that, because no one is stupid. They just, if you don't know what you don't fucking know, that's not stupid. That's just lacking information, not receiving the information at a certain point in time in your fucking life. So I don't see that as stupid. But I determine where they're at, and I usually give questions to help me determine where they're at when I'm first meeting someone. And then once I've determined their level of consciousness and the information that they already know based on the questions that I ask, then I can get my point across. I can easier, Jesus Christ. I can easily communicate with them based on that. And usually a conversation evolves, and the things that I say evolve based on their understanding. If they're actually receiving and interpreting and having realizations based on the conversation, then it progresses, like naturally progresses. I'm not trying to explain quantum physics to a 5-year-old over here, you know. I'm not trying to explain the hermetic principles of the universe to someone who is very close-minded. Not immediately, anyways, because I'm the type of person that if you have walls put up around me, I will break them. I will break them. It's a gift. I've done it so many times before with so many different people. Like, people naturally come up to me and ask me like questions and shit, and I don't want to say trauma dump on me, because it doesn't feel like that. It feels more of like them seeking. Jesus, I can't talk today apparently. It doesn't feel like trauma dumping. It just feels like they're seeking information that I have, because otherwise they wouldn't be in my area, in my vicinity, right? They wouldn't come to me, the random person that they were drawn to. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They were drawn to me. They felt the need to come to me because I have the information that they need. And it's happened so many times to me. That's why it's happened so many times. I can give you so many examples of this shit happening to me. And it takes me off guard every single time, right? Not like really off guard, but it takes me by surprise every time. Like, it catches me off guard. It's surprising every fucking time, because it's like people I wouldn't usually think that they need help, you know? But Also, sometimes I will clearly ignore my environment, so I'm not analyzing every single person that walks by me, right? Because I like to not to do that sometimes. I mean, it's an automatic process, but people watching compared to being in my own world and enjoying rather than people watching. I enjoy people watching, okay, but I kind of just, I enjoy my own mind more than seeing other people's problems and seeing what they're stressed about and picking the solution for them. Because if I'm not in my own world, I will pick up on things and start conversations that are deep and meaningful, that will help them, that does help them. Yeah, it's just who I am, but I definitely got off track. A little bit. That's fine. It's fine. I see it. It's rude of me not to say anything if I see it and I can pinpoint the solution and the stream of information and energy that you need and not give it to you. Right? And I talk about that in my book, Theo's Magical Thoughts. Hold on. I'm doing author signings and stuff like that, so I have one right here too. And this is not AI generated. Hold on, I have my spot marked. Because one of my premium packages are me writing.
Connect to source.
Excuse my phone. It's telling me I need to charge my phone. But I write personalized messages and stuff in there. My premium package, one of them is the hard copy that's signed, but also with side notes and in-depth shit. So yes, that's in here. That it's rude, not of me to say anything, but the character, one of the characters does say, it's rude of me not to say anything. Yes. It's rude of me to see your pain and ignore it, is what like her point is. Because it is a fictional story, but it's tied in with reality, because what is reality? What is real to you? What is real to you? And a lot of people see reality as I used to. So that's why I can pinpoint what solution, what stream of information they need and give it to them. But sometimes I like to ignore everybody and just be with myself. And that's when random people come up to me and like give me a problem to solve for them. But I don't really see it as a problem, really. Like it's a problem to them, right? I don't let it affect my energy, but it's like an easy solution for me. It's easy. Like it's fucking easy. I've already done this shit a million times I have answers. And when I don't have answers for myself, like I have answers, you know? That's why I showed you my notebook that I have. I've been collecting shit that helps me when I'm not receiving information. I'm not receiving, like I know what to move, but something feels off. So I need some help. And if my angels and my guides, my ancestors, and and people that have passed away that are close to me, you know, but they don't really give me answers. Like my technically stepbrother, that's my brother who passed away, you know, like last year. He doesn't really give me answers. He gives me laughs and I don't want to say annoyance, but yes, he likes to be around me, and he always has. But I feel it, feeling as I sense it, right? I sense like he's right there, and when you sense it, when you know, when you're receiving this information, it's hard to ignore it. It's hard to ignore it. And that's why I say that he's annoying sometimes, because he likes to be in my energy and it's hard to ignore him. And I'm trying to focus on shit that I want to focus on. And connecting with spirits is not something that I planned on doing, you know, at all. But the more you the more you work with energy, the more you sense energy and can interpret the information, the energetic information. So I was trying, not really trying in the sense of like efforting hard, because you can't effort hard to sense energy. Energy is very subtle, so you pretty much just allow the information to come to you. Like whenever you're in a near-death situation or like in a dangerous situation, you sense it. You don't try hard to sense it. You don't try hard to feel it. You just automatically sense it. So it's an automatic thing. And that was an automatic thing that I was not expecting, right? And it's subtle, it's gradual. My uncle passed away a few years ago. And every time I'm around his daughter, which is like my best friend, my cousin, you know, is my best friend, sister, great relationship, friendship, whatever. Every time I'm around her, like I sense his presence. And then one night we were playing, we have game night, and her man were just going back and forth and being a cute couple that they are, and I was just smiling and like happy for them type shit. And then I realized that her dad, my uncle, who passed away, never physically met her man. Like, never physically met him. But he knows him, right? My uncle knows him. My uncle is around his daughter a lot. And especially when, yes. And I was like, damn. Your dad knows him though. Like, your dad loves the dynamic that y'all have. Like I do, I know it, but it's a whole different, because he was standing on like this side of me while I was at the table, you know, because she was right here and he was like in between us. But that's something I was not expecting. It's not something I was striving for. Like, I didn't strive for that, okay? I was more so trying, like, I don't even want to use the word trying. I was more so reaching out to angels, to ancestors, to the guides that I have around, right? I'm thinking of this one ancestor that I have that's Native American. I smell s'mores. That was very random. It's like a fiery, burnt marshmallow type of smell. It's not me. Anyways, I have an ancestor who's Native American, and he comes to me sometimes and just sits with me, not physically, right? He only comes to me whenever I'm somewhere else in my mind. Very hard for me to explain this to you. Read my book. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Just fucking read my book, okay? The invisible realms in your mind that's still a realm that you can go to. There, okay? Usually it's when I'm like, before I go to bed, meditating, reaching out. He comes and makes his presence known to me and just sits with me. Right? Doesn't really say anything. Doesn't really smile either. Just nods at me. Yeah. Very weird. I don't know if it's because of like a language barrier, but language, like spirits don't have vocal cords, you know, so you're receiving like the telepathic communication. So I don't know why I can see him, but not, like, I haven't received any information. I haven't like had a conversation. I've tried, but I don't know, because he usually sits, you know, next to me while I'm in there. Okay. But that's one of my like first experiences. I reached out and he like showed up. And then I can sense and feel when angels are around me. And whenever I do energy healing, I will call archangels into my presence, into my energy, you know, give me a energetic assist, not just me, like whatever I'm healing, whatever I'm healing, I usually do call in angels and God. Yeah. But that's something, speaking to the dead and what is that called? Being a medium, that label. I didn't expect to do that, to have that ability. Like, I just wanted to focus on healing. I wanted to know, predicting the future is what I used to like label it, but now I know it's more complex than that, okay? But if you go watch my like experience with fate, I kind of break it down over there on that video. It's a recent one that I just did. So that healing, predicting the future, being guided, which I have been. I just didn't realize it. Right? I thought like my instincts was the automatic reaction to danger, but you sense, that sensing part is your intuition. You sensing information. Psychic abilities is sensing beyond the perceived normal senses like sight, smell, touch, you know, your senses, your physical senses. But intuition and instinct are not perceived as normal senses. Like, but everyone has them, so how is that not normal? You know, like how is that not fucking normal? Everyone has instincts. Everyone can sense energy. So yes, I know this was a long video. It's definitely way longer than what I wanted it to be. But I know I haven't made a long video in a while, and I feel like I give good information anyways. Just share my experience. But yes, please check out the growth guide. It's for you. Don't ask for your email. Go check that shit out. Let me know what you think. You don't have to, as long as it changes. Like, I don't even receive any notifications that you download it, because it's an automatic download. So please go do that. It's for you. And I know you'll love my book if you order that, because I love it. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing, and it will shift your whole fucking perception on reality itself. I know that's a tall order, but I fucking deliver, okay? I deliver. So, yes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate your presence, your time, and your energy. I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful to assist you in any way I can. So don't hesitate to reach out, to comment, like, whatever the bullshit on YouTube wants you to do. I just want to help. Thank you for enduring everything. Life doesn't have to be hard. Use your guidance system. Slow down. Sense information. I actually like that word. I like that this video happened, because I usually do say feel instead of sensing. So one thing leads to another, and you're always growing. You weren't the same person as you were a year ago. No time, no skill, and no knowledge, no experience has ever been wasted. So, thank you for watching.